All right, we'll get started with questions. Sean Fagan, you're up first.
Thanks for being here, Jesse. So clearly a big accomplishment for you tonight as well. Hit your 90th home run, but I know you're more of a team player. So I was wondering, what would you say, how would you speak to the performance of your team today?
I think we honestly did good. This is postseason. You never know what's going to happen, and a win is a win. You can win by 1 run, you can win by 7, but a win's a win. At the end of the day, we came out on top, and we're now on to the next. Survive in advance. That's what postseason is. Doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't have to be clean. As long as you come out on top.
And then just a real quick follow-up to that. So the first 2 innings kind of tough on offense, but then you found your groove later on. I was wondering, was there anything that you as a team were talking about in the dugout before, especially after leaving the bases loaded in the first, tough after that? But was there anything that like you talked about to say like, okay, let's just get back on track. We can still do this.
Yeah, I think the big message is just remember who you are. We're a really good hitting team when we have trust in ourselves and trust in our hands and trust in the person behind us. I think the main thing was we just needed to see the ball a little bit deeper and make sure we're hitting good pitches. But at the end of the day, I'll choose my team 100% when it comes to being up to the plate. But at the end of the day, we came out with a win. Didn't have to be pretty, but we got it. Now we're on to the next.
Troy Hutchinson, you're next.
Follow up on that, what were the adjustments that you guys made to accomplish that?
I think just being a little bit shorter to the ball and having trust in our eyes. We're swinging a little bit too big, seeing the ball a little bit too out in front, but it might have just been a little bit of jitters. Playing in front of our fans, it was the most exciting thing. I remember we were just finishing our warm-ups and we came in and the fans were going crazy. It was so sweet. I loved it, and it reminded me of how great our Rita Hillenbrand Stadium is when it's packed. Our fans are really something special. So that was a special moment just to run in from finishing ground balls and all of a sudden they're cheering. I was like, yes, it's good to be back.
And obviously you've seen Rita full before, but the freshmen, especially the new freshmen, haven't seen that before. So what was that like seeing them experience that? Were they like in awe?
That was so exciting. I mean, my girl who's playing shortstop probably next year, she looked at me and she's like, Jess, this is awesome. This is so cool. She's like, I've been waiting for this moment. And she said she had a little butterflies. And I was like, yes, that's what you're supposed to feel. Everyone should have a little bit of butterflies. Just really excited to see the fans out. I know Devin Nets, she was eating it up. She loved every second of it. She ran in, she was cheering, big cheers. And then all of a sudden the fans kind of responded to it. So it was cool to see the freshmen kind of light up and be like, wow, this is what it's like. This is what they remember. They told me that they remember coming and watching all our home games and being part of the pack stands, and now they're in it, getting to experience it. So it's something special.
John McKelvey, go ahead.
You had a great night tonight. What were some of the changes you made from the UCLA series where you struggled a little bit and it seemed like you were hitting the ball a lot better tonight?
I think just remembering who I am, just being short to the ball, just relaxing. That's pretty much simple mindset, and we're good. But definitely it was a big team win. Shar Palacios, her home run was in and out of here in 0.2 seconds. That was a monster bomb, but just we're on to the next. That's kind of how it goes.
PJ Brown, you're up next.
Yeah, I know you probably don't want to talk about this, but how did it feel to get number 90 and sort of move past that?
To me, I remember saying that 90 is a cool number. That's a cool number. I'll be happy if I get to 90. That's a cool number. So I hit 90, had a little bit of extra smile. I was like, that's a cool number. I'm up there with some really cool people. But I'm happy. I mean, I'm proud of myself. Happy that we got 2 runs on the board for our team to kind of get the momentum going our way because we needed those runs just to get a little bit extra excitement. But a win's a win. I'm happy it helped my team. But 90 is a cool number.
And sort of switching now to the defense. The defense was stellar tonight, and it has been all season. You guys just, you don't commit too many errors. You haven't this year. Your fielding percentage is really high. What was sort of, I know you're consistent with that, but was there anything else tonight, a little extra?
I just think with us is Coach is an amazing fungo hitter. He's pretty special. He can today. I want the ball in that corner right there, and he hits it to us. So he tests us a lot at practice, but we have a lot of senior leadership, a lot of infielders that have been here before. I mean, for the most part, it's fifth-year seniors, and then we have a freshman first base. But I definitely say it's Coach's Magic Fungo. He's pretty special. He's out there hitting us fungo every single day. Even when his back hurts, he's working extra hard for us to make sure that we're prepared. So all props to Coach.
Fortunately, that's all the time we have time for. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll have our next one up here shortly. Joined by Hannah Bowen. Questions for Hannah. Troy, you're up first.
So Hannah, in that first inning, you got in a little bit of a jam, got out of that, and then settled in. What was working out for you in the circle today?
I think just coming out and attacking and commanding the zone like I always do. The strike zone was a little tight in the first couple of innings, but at that, it is what it is. So I just had to get them to swing and miss and get the ground balls and pop-ups.
And then what was it like to pitch in front of a full Rita?
A lot of butterflies, and I can speak for the rest of the teammates, but I think it was pretty good having them all back here and supporting.
Ryan, you're up next.
What do you just kind of make of this game as a whole? It seemed like maybe there were some early jitters. I mean, you guys, they put some traffic on the bases and you guys kind of pulled away. I mean, were there some postseason nerves, do you think, at all?
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would think so. I had butterflies, I had nerves, but I think after that home run Jesse hit, I think the momentum started to go and we started to settle in.
And is there anything a lot different about pitching in the postseason?
Nothing. I try not to make it as big as it is. Coach always says can't get too high, can't get too low. You got to stay very steady. So, and that's where I'm at.
Sean Fagan, you're next.
Thanks for being here, Hannah. So clearly you were feeling it. I mean, total dominant performance, one hit, no runs. Awesome. So Deja didn't have the best night on offense, but she obviously had a great night with you as the catcher. So do you feel that she always makes up for if she doesn't have a night as well offensively, defensively, she's always there for the pitchers?
Yes, 100%. I feel that not only with Deja, but the rest of my teammates. I feel like if one's not there, they'll have my back the next time.
And then what was it, quick follow-up, what is it you feel that she was seeing as well that either if you weren't seeing or like, what was it that you two really connected on tonight to have such a successful performance, especially first postseason game in front of a crowd, but you were able to both put that aside?
Mm-hmm. I think just the connection and just the friendship that we have and just we're always on the same page no matter what. If I shake off a pitch, she knows what pitch I want next. So it's just, she's a great catcher.
PJ Brown, you're next.
Hi, Hannah. What's it like for you to have that defense behind you? I mean, you've had it all season long. They're stellar, one of the best defenses in the country. And then tonight they just came up for you, real big time, with Malia having a great catch over at third and Deja and a lot of the others. What's it like for you knowing that they're there for you?
I just know that whatever I throw, I know they're going to have my back. So, and that's a great feeling to have because you don't want to worry about too much. And like Jesse said, Coach prepares us so much on defense. So, and I think that shows during the games.
Thanks.
And last question back to Troy Hutchinson.
Looking at tomorrow, what does Ole Miss bring to the table? Because they look like a different team from 2019.
I would say that they're a little bit more aggressive. So we're going to have to, from the pitching standpoint, we're going to have to command the zone and change its speeds and just make sure that they're off their toes.
All right. Thank you all. And we'll finish up with Coach Candrea. Sean Fagan, you're up first.
Thanks for being here, Coach. So big night all around, obviously defensively with Jesse Harper's home run and then Bowen's one hitter. But Charlize really was one of the most impressive. I mean, 4 RBIs, pounded one of the best pitchers in the country into the ground with her performance. So as a coach, what just really impressed you about how well her play is, especially just being a redshirt freshman?
Well, she's very capable of that. I mean, throughout her career here, she's had some really big at bats, and when she's seeing the ball well, and which she was tonight, I think she was one that really was laying off the high stuff as well as anyone, and her power is right center field. So I think she was looking for that pitch away, and got it and put a good swing on it.
And then just a quick follow-up, Coach. So you're right back at it tomorrow with Ole Miss, as you
Yeah.
now know, because they beat Nova earlier. So
Right.
I'm just wondering, from your perspective, could you speak as to what you're hoping your team will either, if there's any improvements that need to be made tonight, or what you're expecting Ole Miss to come at you with?
Well, I like what we did tonight. I mean, this time of the year, it's always difficult because you're always going to face a good pitcher that you haven't seen, and notoriety of a pitcher is pretty important. And so you get those matchups sometimes, and it usually takes a while. But I was pleased with our team making the adjustments throughout the game, and Bo threw well. I think defensively, we look solid. And tomorrow, right now, we need to go home and get some rest and tee it up tomorrow. That's what this time of the year is all about.
Troy Hutchinson, go ahead.
Hannah had a really good game
Yep.
today. There's that first inning where some runners got on, but she was able to get out of that jam. What did you see from her performance today?
Well, Hannah's just a typical competitor. She's got great control in the circle. And when she's fresh and throwing her pitches the way she wants to, she can be tough. And so I even that first inning, I thought there was a couple of pitches that were fairly close that she wasn't getting, but she's a smart kid and makes adjustments very well. And I have a lot of confidence in her.
Today was the first time in what feels like years that Rita was full, but
Yeah. It was
it's
good.
been a while. But what was that feeling like? And what did you see from the freshmen that have never experienced that before?
Well, I don't know how the freshmen reacted to it, but I know for myself, it was very nice to hear the crowd once again. It's something that we miss and something that we rely on here at Hillenbrand. I think it is definitely a factor when you're playing against us at home with a full stadium. And so I was very, very excited tonight that we had people in the stands, and I'm just glad that I'm seeing people without masks on and kind of getting back to some normalcy.
John McKelvey, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you played 8 straight games against top 15 teams, and every pitch was grueling in those games. And then to come out here and have a pretty good performance, everybody gets on base, everybody's feeling good. How important is that the first day of regional?
Well, it's always important. I mean, the first game at regionals is sometimes the toughest, just getting your feet wet. And I always say that there's never a bad win. If whatever you got to do to get that first victory is pretty important. And now we move on to tomorrow, and the game tomorrow becomes important. It kind of puts you in the driver's seat. So, I think this team's battle tested. I mean, we've gone through some ups and downs, and I think they're in a good place right now. We just have to come out and compete, have some fun, and play the game.
We have time for one more question for Coach, if anybody wants. Troy Hutchinson, go ahead.
Looking at tomorrow, do you know who you're going to have in the circle?
I'll have to sleep on that. But if you were a betting man, it's probably going to be Denham.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yep. All right.